Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Welcome to Dan United. Wow. This has been a long time coming. I've been threatening this for so long. Let that be known. And finally, we are here. And what is Dan United? Well, Dan United is me letting you just see how much Manchester United pains me. I've been there through all of the bad times over the past few years. Hi, Geordie Team for Life. Thank you for that, mate. Bill Ashby, hope you're well, mate. I've been there through the highs and lows this past 3 years on football's 12th man. And Dan Potts of the boys kept saying to me, well, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just go on your own? And so I thought, do you know something? I've threatened it long enough. It's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. Yes, Wolfie. Yes, Wolfie. So, guys, look, Manchester United, as you know, are my team. I wouldn't be wearing the shirt. I feel like it's been a long time coming what I've been deciding to do. And when it comes to it, I've been doing TikTok the past couple of weeks. And do you know something? It's been quite liberating. I feel like this is therapy. And because I've been unceremoniously kicked off 12th man, the race for Europe because of these boys, I thought now's the time. So what have we got tonight? Well, let's start with the elephant in the room, the transfer window. Manchester United have been making moves. Making signings? Yeah, they've been doing bits. Now, we know all the time that Manchester United are always going to be linked with every player across the world. It's just the way it is. Are we linked with them because they're going to actually come to us? Not all the time. They're just used for the name. Just used for the name. We've been linked with so many players this summer that I feel like if we were to sign them all, they'd have enough to fill the stadium, for Christ's sake. So, what I want to go through tonight is a couple of things. Now, if some of you have seen me on TikTok this past week, I've been talking about this a lot. There have been so many people that I feel like we've been in a race for but haven't actually been in a race for. Now, let's start with the most obvious one, Gyökeres. Gyökeres, hi, Sophie, hope you're well. Dugout, hope you're well, hope you're well. Hope you're well, Mark, as well. Let's get those comments up in a minute. Gyökeres, as you know, is a player that Manchester United in any shape or form should not have been anywhere near this bloke. There is not a world where this guy actually wants to come and play for Manchester United. But guess what? Journalism will have you believe that there's a chance. Hell, I even believed up until a couple of weeks ago we had a chance. But what happened was, as Manchester United fans, as we've had for quite a while now, I was hit with a dose of reality. And the reality is, it's facts. We are the ugly girl at the dance. We are the ugly boy for the pretty girl at the dance. Which way, everywhere you want to look at it. This is where we are. Manchester United are literally at this moment in time waiting for Arsenal to say yay or nay. Now, I feel like Gyökeres, has he burnt too many bridges already? This is the question I have to ask. Has he burnt too many bridges already? Because if we look at the fact of what Manchester United wanted to do this season, they wanted to do one simple thing. They wanted to come out the blocks. They wanted to come out the blocks and they wanted to absolutely smash the transfer market. They went up straight away and they got Cunha. Brilliant. That was a signing we had to make. We had to make Cunha. Then we went for Delap. And this goes into my analogy of plan A to plan D. So plan A was Delap. Delap chose Chelsea. Worked out well for him if you watched him last night, by the way. Then we had plan B, which was Gyökeres. Gyökeres come out and said, you know something? I'm not feeling that. I'm going to wait for Arsenal. Now, this is Arsenal doing Arsenal, who seem to have gone nowhere near him. And then followed on the reports that we always seem to have when we get a player that says they don't want to come near us. And that is the simple fact of, do you know something? There are insiders in Manchester United that weren't actually sure on Gyökeres. That's crap. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. Let me go through some of these comments. Before I continue this. Dugout, honestly, lovely to see you, mate. CJ Dillon, hope you're well. Oh, honestly, Sophie, I think you got more fans than me, mate. Nathan Saifi. Yes, brah. Bill Ashby says, I think the problem is that Arteta prefers Sesko, but the Arsenal director of football prefers Gyökeres. Only Arsenal fans will tell you this. Only Arsenal fans will tell you just what the hell is actually going on there. Now, it would be classic Arsenal to be linked with a striker that's gone out there and done so much and then just reject him and go for someone else. I'm not sure that Sesko is the one that they actually need. I think Gyökeres fits Arsenal. But we're not here to talk about Arsenal. Arsenal isn't this channel. This is Dan United. This isn't Dan Arsenal. So it leads me on to the problems. How is... If you know, you know. If you know, you know. This leads me on to what we are looking at with Manchester United this summer. And it's simple facts. I feel like they wanted the Cunha and Delap deal done straight away. Because Delap's not said yes and gone elsewhere, well, now it's pushed us back. And Barada and the boys have come out and said, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. We've got a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. I kind of think the reason that we were going all out for Delap is simple. It's 30 million. Gyökeres is 62 to 70, depending on who you look at. Osimhen only wants to play Champions League football, so there's no chance he's coming to us. Then you go to Ekitike. I never thought for 1 second Ekitike would end up at Manchester United. There is no chance in this world Ekitike comes to Manchester United. And I will actually say more on that. I don't think Ekitike is what Manchester United are looking for. We have done this for too long, brought in these young, talented players with a brilliant potential. They've done okay at their clubs before, and we see them as the player to come, take that next step. Yes, Maxi Shun, one of my TikTok boys. Lovely to see you in here. And guess what happens? We sign these young, talented players, and they absolutely shit the bed. It's simple. You look at Rasmus Højlund, man. Rasmus Højlund. He was never worth the money we signed him for, and I want to make that clear. But I actually looked at him and I thought, this is a striker I think could do something. And his first season, yeah, okay, it wasn't great, but there were showings. Before he got injured, he went on a run of like 7 or 8 games where he looked absolutely incredible. But then guess what happened after that? He just fell off a cliff. And after that happened, this season, he's doing like fucking Wild Coyote. He's gone. So this is where the question lies. Maxi Shun will know this because he's been on my TikTok streams, and I want to ask the people in here. Yeah, exactly that. Is there a world where Marcus Rashford starts up front for Manchester United next season? Maxi Shun, I know you have opinions on this, but I want to get the people in here as well. I want to understand what your thoughts are, because Rashford has come out today, and do you know something? I've got nothing wrong with a player having hope. I've got nothing wrong with a player backing themselves. Hell, that's what we're meant to be doing as people. We're meant to back ourselves. But Marcus Rashford comes out today and says, yeah, I'd love to play with Yamal. I'd love to take Margot Robbie to dinner. It ain't happening, mate. It ain't happening. The way this guy is twerking to try and get a move to Barcelona is criminal. He is on ridiculous wages, and he is praying and praying and praying. If he just shows a little teat, I love that saying, a little teat to Barca, that, you know what, they might actually consider it. Barcelona have just signed Williams. Now, there were reports yesterday that Barcelona may see Rashford as a striker. I've not seen this guy as a striker. This guy hasn't been a striker. This guy is not a striker, okay? This guy is not a striker. He's a winger. We know this. So I feel like we're in a situation here where we are actually seeing so many of these players that are stuck at Manchester United potentially going to stay here for longer because of their wages, because nobody is willing to pay a transfer. Just a transfer to get them out of the club. You look at the likes of Sancho. Now, Sancho's a tough one because Sancho, again, has been linked today with Napoli, with Juventus. We have to sell that guy. We have to sell Sancho for the simple fact that guy goes on a free in a season. If Manchester United loan this guy out and pay his wages for half his wages for a season, well, that is going to make us look absolute morons. Wolfie would have you believe actually that we're already morons. In fact, a lot of rival fans will have you believe now that we've looked like morons for the last 12 months. But I feel like something like that would absolutely cement that. Let's go to some of the comments. Maisie Todd, Sophie B says, I think United need to have a lot of patience. This will take a lot of time. Completely agree, Sophie. Completely agree. And you've actually led me into something there where I'll go on to that in a second. Geordie Team 5 says, Dan, it is because of different coaches and styles of play. Potentially. I just don't see it. Rashford, I think, should be given one chance to prove it, but I can't see it happening, to be honest. I think he needs to leave the Premier League, in my opinion. Lucas Brooks, great to have you here. TikTok represent. And also, Sophie also says, I think Sandro going is on a free, to be fair. Look, I feel like that's going to happen. There's a world where we end up loaning him out. There's a world where we say to Napoli, take half of his wages and have him for the season, then he goes on a free. If that happens, I'll be absolutely livid. Manchester United need to actually look at this now as just sell a lot of them. cut sell a lot of them, because while they might not be hurting you whilst not playing, it's the money that we're paying these guys to stay at this club. So for me, it's either one or the other. We can't keep going on in this. I tell you what, I look like I've got a tan with that light. There's no way I've got a tan. I don't tan. I go bright white. So anyway, next I want to go through Brian. Now, the TikTok faithful will know who I'm talking about with Brian. The TikTok faithful, big Taz, absolutely brilliant. Brian, it has been flirted with, it has been spoken about. We are pretty much the club that want him. We know Spurs have twerked for him, but Spurs then look like they're going for Semenyo. Brian is the next transfer I think Manchester United do, without a doubt. I'm gonna have to. I tell you what, guys, hottest day of the year. Brian is the transfer that Manchester United will make next, 100%. Now, what are my thoughts on this? Now, I want Brian. I've made no mistake about it that I want Brian. TikTok faithful. See, this is what we do. Make no mistake about it. We should get Brian next. But I kind of feel like we're missing out on another transfer here, concentrating on Brian, because Manchester United for so long have been a club that can't do 2 transfers at once. We can't do 3 transfers at once. We have to do just the one. And we have to just keep going on and on and on and on, where we get linked with him. Then we bid for him. Then what happens with the bid is it gets rejected, because it's Manchester United. Manchester United are always going to have to pay more, by the way. Then we put more money in. Then we get the player talks. Then we get the medical. It takes forever. We're missing out on a goalkeeper that I think we could have actually gone and got this week. Now, PSR finishes on the 30th. We could have absolutely gone out and taken full advantage of this, and that's Emi Martinez. Now, reports are conflicting about Onana. We know that Onana is either wanted by Monaco or he's staying at United. TalkSport said something disgusting today. Something disgusting, something I actually felt physically sick about. And that was that Onana wants to stay and fight for his place. Onana wants to stay and fight for his place. In fact, let me get into the mic and say it one more time. Onana wants to stay and fight for his place. You can have all of the positivity in the world about the transfers that we're going to make, because we will make transfers. We're not going to start the pre-season with just Cunha. But if we don't sort the goalkeeping situation out, I'm telling you something now. We may fix problems further up the field, but for points that we will get up the field, we will equally lose because of that guy at the back of the field. Okay? Martinez will come in and do so much for Manchester United. He will do so much in the sense of the attitude he will bring. He will do so much in the sense of he is a winner. He is a winner. He's won a World Cup. Okay? He has won a World Cup. He will come in and change the dynamics in the changing room and on the pitch for Manchester United. We can't allow this to go unnoticed, guys. As a Manchester United fan, I get it that the money isn't there at the moment. But with the fact that Villa fans will admit this, they are in big trouble at the moment with PSR. They need to sort something out. Hence why Martinez has been told to find somewhere else to play. If we can't go and do something about that in the next week, then what are we doing? What are we doing? Now, look, as the title says, July Bomber, we could, and I think we will, once 1st of July comes. I think that's where we'll see it really ramp up. But at present, we absolutely have to be looking at the bargain that would be Martinez. Okay, let's go through some of these comments. Maxi Shun says, like I said on chat, Dan, if we had to keep one, it would be Rashford. But with his latest mad comments and hearing he's supposedly offered himself to Madrid, he is on the must-go list. Absolute facts. Absolute facts. Honestly, this guy had the potential. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you a little story. And TikTok family, you will know what I'm going to say here. If I'm Marcus Rashford after the season that we've just had, and let's not pretend he doesn't have talent, because this guy does have talent. Let me take a sip. He does have talent. If I'm Marcus Rashford, and I've just witnessed the worst Premier League season for Manchester United, and I'm a boy from Manchester, you better believe what I would do is come out and say, right, do you know something? I'm going to get my head down. I want to be the player that pulls this club back up to where it needs to be. I get it, guys. I get it. I've been here through Ollie. I've been here through Ranić. I've been here through Jose. I've been here through Van Gaal. I've been here through Ten Hag. I want to be the guy now to push up. But he won't do that. He won't do that because his attitude is appalling and he actually thinks he's better than the club. This guy has never hit 20 Premier League goals in a season. Marcus Rashford, who is on the money he is on, and that's our fault, that's Manchester United's fault, has never hit 20 goals in a season. So don't sit there and tell me that this guy respects the club and this guy should absolutely not be given a chance at this club. Bill Ashby says, Newcastle definitely wanted... Bill, it's Brian. Come on, think. Newcastle definitely wanted Brian, so he'd be a quality signing for sure. Look, Brian brings so much to the table for Manchester United. He can play as a 10. He can push forward. And what he has, which we have lacked for a long time, he has that hard-working mentality. He's played for Thomas Frank. That says it all. Moxie Sean says, Brian is coming first week in July, folks. Keep watching. Honestly, I can't wait to be... I will get a shirt, as I've said. The second we sign Brian, it will be on the back of the shirt. Sophie says there is a possibility Brian goes with Thomas Frank, I think. Sophie, I don't think so. I really don't. And the reason I don't think that, I'm gonna be real with you. The reason I don't think that is because Thomas Frank didn't just wake up on the Monday before he went and say, do you know what? I'm going to go Spurs, guys. I'm off. I'll catch you all. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for all your hard work. I'm off. These talks have been going on the last couple of weeks, maybe longer. Well, it's been a week or so now, hasn't it? These talks have been going on a month, let's say. He will have been absolutely speaking to Brian about this. He will absolutely have been speaking to Brian and saying, look, I'm going Spurs. You're one of my boys. I want you with me. And if the reports are true, which is coming out about Brian, he has said all along, I want Manchester United. The fact that Spurs haven't gone hot straight in there for him, it makes me think that if we miss this, if Manchester United miss this, it's the biggest own goal. It's the biggest own goal in the last 12 months for us, 100%. Who else we got here? The Game Scoop says this deal will happen 1st of July. We'll see results. The positivity, guys. I told you all. It's the longest day of the year. It feels like the longest transfer of the year. This is literally killing me to hear. I've got the window open. I think next door think I'm talking to myself. Who gives a fuck? Geordie Toon says we want him to stay. I'm assuming you mean... you definitely mean Onana, don't you? The Game Scoop says Onana is living the dream. If we performed like him, we would be sacked. Why should he survive? Well, this goes back to what Manchester United's problem has been for such a long time. We are not cutthroat enough to go to a player and say, Onana, you're out, mate. We don't want you. Tell your agent to go and find another club. You are no longer playing at this club. We haven't got that cutthroatness about us. Gone are the days where Fergie would turn around to a player and say, you ain't playing here anymore. Look, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Ruud van Nistelrooy had scored goal after goal after goal after goal for Manchester United. He upset Ronaldo. Look, Ferguson chose the right person, obviously, for what Ronaldo did. But he upset Ronaldo. Fergie said, you're out of here, mate. You're gone. And he was gone to Madrid. David Beckham. Obviously, Madrid wanted Beckham, but it got to a point with Beckham where Fergie said, absolutely not. You think you're bigger than the club? You're gone. You're history. Roy Keane, for fuck's sake. The captain of Manchester United, a player that dragged that team through so many games. When it got to the end and Ferguson knew that he was no longer going to be a part of this new United, he was gone. This is where Manchester United literally dropped the ball season after season. It's almost like we beg him to stay. It drives me insane, honestly. Who else have we got here? Honestly, let's get through these comments. There's a few. Sophie says, yeah, but if you sign Emi Martinez, it will force Onana to look for a new club as he will only get maybe early rounds of cups, to be honest. Well, look, it says a lot about a man's pride. Is he willing to sit there and take the wages but not play? And look, Onana's a nice guy. It's not like we care. You're a nice guy, but he's a nice guy. He is a nice guy, but he's not what Manchester United need. He is not what Manchester United need. And look, I liken Onana. Some of you, I don't know if Mrs. Robertson can hear this. If not, if she can, I'm going to be in serious trouble. It's like when you meet someone on Tinder or on Plenty of Fish. You see the profile picture and you go, yep, that is what I want. We've struck up a conversation. Oh, God, yeah. What? You like going for walks? I like going for walks. You love the movies. I love the movies. You do it all. You put all of these things in there. You put all of the hard work. You come and meet them and you go, oh, fuck. Well, you're not what I've been talking to. You're nothing like. You don't even want to go to the movies. You don't even like walking. This is what it's been with Onana. We signed a goalkeeper that was meant to be a ball player. The guy can't save anything. Honestly, it's horrendous, man. Horrendous. Let's get back through some of these comments. There's a few to go through. The Game Scoop says, I'd say put Maguire in goal. He's been golden in every position this season. Look, I'm going to say something, and the TikTok family will definitely understand this. I was all about the end of last season just chucking Maguire up top in the end. I thought, do you know what we got to lose? Rasmus can't do anything. Just chuck Maguire up there. I guarantee he would have. Let me look at this. That's definitely Andy. This is Andy, who guys, he follows me on TikTok. He's a lovely chap, and he's obviously using his he's on the Missus's YouTube account. That is loyalty. That is loyalty. We're building a community here, Andy, and you are one of the founding members, and that, my friend, is absolute loyalty. I think you're fantastic for that. Bill Ashby says, Emi Martinez would be a great sign. To be fair, my phone autocorrected to Emu, and I want to generate an AI image of Emo Martinez. That can be done. Let's have a look what we got here. The Game Scoop says, I feel the same if Rashford stayed and performed, let's say up front, he would redeem himself, but his attitude and behaviour are a HR nightmare. Absolute facts. Are United missing leaders? I'm talking you, Gary Neville's, Paul Scholes type. Well, Lucas, you've got a great point there. Rival clubs have leaders all around the pitch, okay? Manchester United have none. Bruno Fernandes isn't a leader. Look, I love Bruno. But Bruno Fernandes is not the guy who drags you through the trenches. Bruno Fernandes is a guy that will hit an absolute worldie into the top corner when you are 1-0 down and you need a result. He is that guy. But a player that inspires players around him, he is not. Absolutely not. What are we saying here, Andy? So if Rashford stays, does it undermine the manager? Well, absolutely. And you've teed me into something nicely there, actually. So we saw reports earlier on the week, and this is where Manchester United, I think, went into panic mode. I think Manchester United went into the panic mode because of what was leaked. So it was leaked that Manchester United, for the pre-season tour, were going to leave out Rashford, they were going to leave out Sancho, Garnacho, and Anthony. They were the 4 players that apparently they were going to leave behind to train and find new clubs, which, look, that's how you get rid of players. That is absolutely how you get rid of players. We don't want to take these 4 on tour for them to... Okay, so look at the scenarios. There's one scenario. They absolutely ball. The manager goes, oh, do you know what? I'm willing to give them one more chance. We're stuck with them for another fucking season. The second situation is you take them out. They go out. They play one game. They get injured. Well, then we're stuck with them, aren't we? We're stuck with them until after the transfer window. So what Manchester United then did through their sources is they then released a statement saying, no. We haven't said that. We haven't said that they're not going to come on tour. Absolutely not. We're willing to give them a chance. This is where Manchester United shit the bed too many times. If it's me, if I was Amorim, I'd absolutely come out in a press conference, the first press conference after I've come off my holidays, after I've been eating all that paella and drinking all that wine and crying myself to sleep over how poor my team is. I'd come out and say, yeah, they're absolutely not coming on the tour. Absolutely not. Marcus Rashford, no chance. Sancho, no chance. Anthony, forget it. Garnacho, who? That's how easy it is, guys. We got a chat in here. I don't think Frank would go. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think Frank could get many players from Brentford anyway. What else have we got here, guys? Big Taz, big up, Big Taz. Says no one player is bigger than the club. Absolute facts. Lucas Brooks says, who was your United player of the season? That's a tough one, Lucas. That is an absolute tough one because Manchester United were absolutely appalling. They were absolutely appalling. Player of the season. I mean, you'd have to go for someone like Ahmad, wouldn't you? I think Ahmad was incredible. Maguire for the moments, but Maguire still had some... Maguire was still part of a defence that shipped a lot of goals. Bruno for what he did, but then Bruno went missing in so many big games for Manchester United. I don't even think Bruno's got to Bilbao now for the Europa League final because he wasn't there. Absolutely wasn't there. Luke says, I know the feeling, Dan. Wanted to put Souček up top at the end of last season. Well, West Ham will do that to you, mate. Lawless will definitely give you an opinion on Souček. Bill Ashby says, now I have another weird idea in my head of Onana, the catfish goalkeeper. I'm telling you. Oh, yes, it's Valsy. Oh, fantastic. The game scoop. I tell you something, guys. For people who haven't seen my TikToks, there's a lot of the OGs from my TikTok stream that have joined us tonight, and that means the world to me. Thank you so much, guys. The support is fantastic. Sophie, thank you as well. Thank you for those likes. Remember to like, guys, if you're new, and hit the subscribe button as well. Hit the subscribe button. We are going to be doing so much this season. We're going to have the match reactions. We're going to have the pre-match game. We're going to have the watch-alongs. My wife is so excited for me to be doing these watch-alongs because it means that she gets the TV back and she doesn't have to sit there watching me crying myself to sleep after a game. So, yeah. If you hear that noise, that is the dominoes for the wife. I'm going to shut that window because that bloke's going to think I'm talking to him. Imagine that. Imagine that. Bruno was outstanding. Big Taz, if you're happy to give him your player of the season, then I've got no... I don't disagree with you for that. I just feel like he went missing in big games last season. Look, if we didn't have Bruno, we would have been in shit street last season. But Bruno did a good job. He did a good job. I just think he went missing in a couple of those games. How hot is this tonight, guys? Look, that is beads. Beads. Jesus H. Christ. So, the next question, and the thing I want to talk to you about is, somebody mentioned this on TikTok last night, and I thought it was a poignant question. And the question was, Jesus Christ. The question was, how many players do Manchester United need to get in to the club? Now, this is heavily reliant on who we get rid of. Now, I had a chat on Football's 12th Man 3/4 of the way through last season where Pete and I had a debate about this, where I said, well, we got to get 7 or 8 in. And Pete was quite right to say, Manchester United aren't selling 10 players. They ain't getting rid of 10 players. And I argued that. I said, hang on a minute, Pete. Hang on. Wait. Peter, wait. We've got 3 that are leaving. So I went through Ericsson, I went through Lindelof, and I went through Evans. Obviously, Heaton stayed. Was it 20? Yeah, he said 21, Sophie. Then, obviously, you had the usual suspects. So then after that, I said Højlund. I said Casemiro. I said, who else did I say? Luke Shaw, I said. Onana. Who else did I say? Rashford, Anthony, Sancho, Garnacho. So that's 11 players. Now, what we're seeing here is we can't get rid of these players like I established before. Now, what this does to Manchester United is, does this actually mean that our hands are tied before we're even trying to do this rebuild? Is Amorim potentially going to be in a situation where, because look, I have got no concerns here. I think Amorim will say to the players that I've mentioned, the Sancho, Rasmus, Anthony, Garnacho, potentially, the 5 there. I think he will say to him, I don't want you at this club. You're not welcome at this club. Now, that's all fair and well him doing that, and he is absolutely right to do that. Sir Jonathan Evans of Manchester, Lucas, it was tough. It was tough, but his time was here. Those 5 players out the squad, gone. Forget about it. Ericsson, gone. So that's 8 players. Let's go 8 players off the bat there. We've only replaced them with 1 so far. When you think about it, that's Cunha. Now, I personally think Manchester United will only sign 4 or 5 players this summer. I think we will sign maybe 3 top-class players. Top class is definition that I think will be different to other clubs who are higher than us. But for me, top class players are Brian. I think I would love to see us go for a goalkeeper. And I think we'll go for a midfielder. Now, the midfielder-wise, who could that be? There's loads of names being bounded around. Paulinho from Bayern Munich's another one, but I don't want him. He's 30. Then you go with the other 2 signings, which I think will be potential signings. People that they will bring in for a lower premium that will end up then going on, getting minutes and hopefully developing. The thing that then follows that is I think we will see a lot of youth players for Manchester United step up this season and be given more of an opportunity. Now, people ask me all the time, where do I think Manchester United will finish this season coming? Well, it's simple. At this point in time, if you offered me Conference League football right now, if you said, Dan, I'm going to tell you now, this is it. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get 7th. I'm not going to tell you how you get there. I'm not going to tell you what happens. I'm snapping your hand off. Now, that might, for a lot of rival fans, scream out, what the hell are you talking about? You're Manchester United. You should be aiming high. You should be aiming big. I'm also a realist, guys, and that's something, if you're new to this channel, you will realise about me as a Manchester United fan. I've seen other platforms, and I think it's absolutely fucking embarrassing. I've seen other platforms come out. I won't tell you who it is, but his name rhymes with Smolchmidge, okay? Come out and say that Barada was an absolute mess for coming out and saying that Manchester United will be looking to challenge for the title in 2028. I disagree. I disagree with that statement. And the reason I disagree with that statement is Manchester United have to be in that process now of realism. We are not going to go out and sign 5 or 6 players this season and end up challenging for a title because there are too many teams ahead of us. There are too many teams that are so far on in the process than us that it makes it even laughable to think that we could be anywhere near that, okay? We are going to be feeding on scraps next season. Make no doubt about it, okay? We are going to have to take points on teams around us, and I think we're going to have to make sure that we hope that people ahead of us slip up and give us a helping hand. Manchester United next season, it's all about stabilising. It's all about bedding in the players that we're bringing in and also giving some of those youth players a chance to go on there and show their thing and develop as players. We saw it happen a little bit this season with the likes of Aiden Heaven. We saw Harry Amas make some starts. We saw Fredrickson get a couple of starts as well. Kone, another lad who's in the youth team, who I think did really well on the end of season tour. Players like this will have opportunities this season. Okay, Obi, of course, up top. I think he'll have opportunities this season. What we don't want to see is us go out there, overpay for players, which is what we've done before. And even in our financial issues we have now, still feel like we can go out there, pay over the odds, bring them in, and they just earn a living and fuck off. That can't happen. So I think next season it has to be realism instead of hope. Realism instead of hope. Let's get through some of these comments. I've been neglecting you all, you beautiful people. Maxie Shun says, Moxie Shun. I love the fact you're here, Moxie. Moxie, Big Taz, Lucas, and Andy. Big up yourself, and Valsy as well. Big up yourselves. You made my night coming on here tonight. I'm interested to see if United are monitoring contract talks with Alex Mer. I'm not sure, Moxie. There was a keeper, and as you all know, I write these notes down. I come prepared. Just in case I ever give anyone reason to make it sound like I'm just talking absolute. Well, of course I'm talking nonsense. It's football, but there was that Marco Canasetti that we were looking at. Now as soon as United get linked with him, they want 50 million euros. That isn't going to happen. If we're going to be stuck with Onana, then I think Manchester United need to get rid of Bayindir and bring in a solid number 2. And I'm talking like a number 2 of the. Do you remember the era when we had Romero as backup to David De Gea? Romero was a stunning goalkeeper. We need to think about that. If we're keeping him, we need someone who's going to be able to push him. Simple. What other comments have we got here? Lucas says, surely, yeah, of course. I mentioned Sir Johnny Evans of Manchester. What an absolute, I love that man. Love that man. What else have we got here? Bill says, realistically, you need 2 wing-backs. Okay. 2 wing-backs, at least 2 midfield, 10, a left winger, number 9, a goalkeeper minimum to even get close to Europe next season. Do you know something, Bill? Wing-backs, I'm not overly concerned about wing-backs. Now, that might sound absolutely ridiculous, but I am more than happy with the whole spiel I've just spoken about development and about people getting used to it. I'm more than happy for Dorgu and Harry Amas to be taking that role on next season, with Diego Leon, who signs on the 1st of July, to get used to the country. He's only 17, by the way, and really fight for that left-sided, because Luke Shaw is going to be used as a left-sided centre-back. Make no mistake about that. The days of Manchester United using Luke Shaw as a Maraudin left wing back are done. They're done. And sorry, let me go back to that as well. And on the right, I think you're going to see Diallo play that wing back role, and then you'll have Dallo as well to push him for that. And when Diallo's not playing at right wing back, I think he'll push up. Look, goalkeeper's a minimum. Yeah, goalkeeper's a bare minimum. Let's have a look what else. Sophie says, I think you get 4. Cunha, Brian, striker, and then Sean Longstaff. Sophie. I thought this was love. Come on now. Valsy says, I'll take 7th with new players to establish how they play together, build a new team. Absolute facts. There is no shame, right? For the Manchester United fans here, let me take a sip before I say this. Honestly, horrendous. That is so much needed. There is no shame in being willing to admit that we don't see ourselves at the top of the table. There's no shame in that. No shame. We have to be realistic about what we are as a club. unrealistic after what I've witnessed last season and the season before with an FA Cup win. This was always going to happen. This is about the clean-up now. This is about the clean-up. Are you? Let me have a look. Are you saying? Sorry, but are you saying about Europe? You're saying about Europe? Yeah, no one likes him. No one likes him. What else have we got here? Big Taz. Big Taz. It's all about a rebuild and a culture reset within the team. Facts. Big Taz. Big up yourself. Facts. That is absolutely what is going to have to happen with Manchester United. It's as simple as that. We have to reset everything. If something is as toxic and as cancerous and is just gone to shit like it has with Manchester United, well, then it's simple. We absolutely have to just wipe everything away and start from anew. Chelsea did it. Clubs have done this in the past, guys. Yeah, TikTok faithful. Big up yourselves. Honestly, absolutely adore you all. Sophie says, the problem is there are a lot of teams that will improve at the same time now, so it will take longer to catch up. Well, Sophie, you kind of ask a question there. You bring something to the table there that I think needs talking about, and this is the fact that other than Barca, other than Manchester City and Liverpool, who else in the top teams has really gone out there and smashed this transfer window to pieces? It's been a slow transfer window. Now, this comes off the back of a lot of us at the end of the season saying this year is going to be mental, you know. This year is going to be absolutely berserk. It's going to go mental. And it hasn't. It's kind of like what analogy would I give? It's kind of like, I tell you what, you know, when you used to sneak home as a kid, like you creep out the house, you creep in the house, your parents would be there watching Crime Watch UK, if you remember that show. They'd be watching Crime Watch UK, the lights would be off, and you'd be trying to just creep through the house, and you'd just get to the door, and you'd fucking knock something off the side, and it'd go bang! And you stand there, and you think, it's coming, they're going to scream, they're going to shout. Oh, they must not have heard it. That is exactly how this transfer window is at the moment. No club has really gone out there and covered themselves with glory. Arsenal is bizarre because they're linked with two strikers that are absolutely phenomenal, and they don't want any part of it. They could absolutely go and get Osimhen, by the way. They could absolutely go and get Gyökeres, by the way. But they don't seem to want it. When we've known as rival fans for so long that that Arsenal need a striker, it baffles me. What else have we got here? Lucas says, I think United are focusing on their attack too much, need to get the midfield right personally. Well, the word with the midfield, I'm sorry, I'm sweaty as hell here. The word with the midfield is, and I think this is coming off the back of the end of last season, is that Bruno is going to drop down to that pivot. We know that. If we're going to get Brian and we'll have Cunha, I see it's obvious that Bruno's going to come back. It's all about who you play next to him. Now, if we play Casemiro and Bruno together, we will get absolutely torn to pieces in that midfield. Make no mistake about that. We will get absolutely torn to pieces, okay? Because Casemiro, for all of his passion, he's not quick enough to play in a two. He's absolutely not. He would get picked apart. So my guess is it will be Bruno and Ugarte, or maybe Bruno and Mainu. Bruno may be pushing forward and then Mainu comes in. The midfield does need work on it, but I feel like if we can get the players that we've already got playing decently, I kind of feel like we can work on the system. And I think then the transition from the back to the front will help a lot. Moxie Shun says, Dorgu will improve this season, came in January and hopefully has adjusted to the pace of the Prem. Look, Dorgu come into a team that was absolutely falling to pieces. So for us to say, we're not convinced by him. I feel it's harsh. I think we need to give that guy a season to sort things out. They get so much work on an Amaran's system. Yeah, well, they will. They will. They absolutely will. What else have we got here, guys? I'm sorry. I am trying to get through these comments. All right, there we go. I thought you'd missed something out there. They get through so much work in an Amarin system. You need at least two quality players on each side. And Ahmad Dorgo, yeah, I can see that below that. though I'm not so sure. Well, this is where we look at the fact, like I said before, Manchester United can't afford to bring in the players like you listed. How many positions? Was it 6, 7 positions? I don't think we've got the look. In an ideal world, if we sold a Rashford, if we sold a Rasmus, if we sold a Sancho, if we sold an Anthony, which by the way, Anthony has got my respect from what I'm hearing, because the reports coming out that he is willing to take a pay cut to get out of this club and play football somewhere is brilliant. That's exactly what I want to hear. I think he's had a taste of being in the Brazil squad, realises if he goes back to Manchester United, it ain't happening. So I fully expect him to go for some money. And also Garnacho, you get rid of those 5 straight away. If we can sort decent transfers out for him, you're looking at least 120 million. Now, of that, you've got PSR on 2 of them. Not PSR, pure profit on 2 of them, Rashford and Garnacho. So that changes the dynamics again. Manchester United, unfortunately, as much as we hate to admit it, are a club that absolutely needs to sell this season. For us to fulfill what we want as a team, for us to fulfill what we want in the transfer market, we have to sell. It's just at the moment, because of the players that we want to sell, and you know what? It's a good thing I do this, guys. I always keep my notes. I logged down the other day the wages that some of these players were on. Rashford, 325k a week. Anthony, 200k a week. Sancho, 250. Garnacho, 50. That's a lot of money we're paying out. Every step of the way, these little things are affecting Manchester United in what they want to do. Now, Barada has come out and said that they want to take the patient approach. They don't want to just throw a bid at someone for the sake of it to get rejected. They want to do their homework. Now, in 4 weeks' time, when we play Leeds, which is 4 weeks' time today in Stockholm, we could sit there and say, do you know something? For all of our pissing and moaning the first couple of weeks the first 3 weeks in June, he got it right, you know. We've seen players leave. We've got a few decent players through the door. He might be all right here. And I'm sick to death of hearing certain people with a voice on YouTube coming out and screaming and shouting about Barada, coming out and screaming and shouting about these transfers. These were the same people last season that said there's no chance of us getting near a title race. There's no chance that the big players want to come to us. There's no chance that we can sell these players because of the wages they're on. And then they're coming out now and saying, why aren't they selling them? Why aren't they going? Why aren't we going for the world's best players? Why are they saying 3 years? We're Manchester United. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. You've got to think about what you actually expect of this club. Think about what you actually expect of these players and how we're going to get rid of them. Think about exactly what Manchester United's plan A, plan B, plan C is. If they believe in themselves, in the fact that they've got these plan Bs, plan Cs in place. You know, when the Delap transfer was told it was a no-no, they said they didn't panic. They said it's fine, we got another thing. And we have to look and see, come the end of July, if they've sorted the shit out, then what are we all moaning about? This could be a case of 1st of July, it goes bang, bang, bang. It could be. I have a funny feeling it's going to be that. We may get Brian this week, but I have a funny feeling that come 1st of July with the new PSR, I think we'll start doing something. Let's go through some of these comments. I've got to take another drink, guys. You've all been wonderful tonight with these comments, by the way. Absolutely wonderful. Sophie, exactly what I just said. Completely agree, mate. Completely agree. Yeah, there we go. Moxie's telling you that's fine. That's fine. Brooksy, how are you? Brooksy says Mainu should be starting, in my opinion. A lot of people saying about Mainu. I actually absolutely adore the kid. I think he's incredible. And let me tell you the difference between Kobbie Mainu and Alejandro Garnacho. Now, Alejandro Garnacho, right, 12 months ago, was coming off the back of scoring an FA Cup goal for Manchester United, okay, to beat Manchester City, one of our biggest rivals. Fast forward 12 months. What 12 months he's had, guys? Because he single-handedly managed to turn the whole club against him. With his poor attitude, with his self-belief that he is Ronaldo. This kid could have been special for Manchester United, yeah? I was fully expecting, as I think a lot of United players, fans were, when he burst on the scene and the goals against Fulham, the goals against Everton, I thought, I've seen this script before. And because I've seen this script before, it won't break my heart. And the script was Cristiano Ronaldo, in the sense of he did what he did, then got that big move to Madrid. I thought that's what Garnacho was going to do. But now what we're seeing, because of his absolutely abysmal attitude, is he's completely alienated himself from the fans. He's alienated himself from the players. He's alienated himself from the manager. and he's turned it into I want to leave the club. And with that attitude, I'm simple with me. I say, ta-ra, off you go, mate. Couldn't give a flying fuck. Off you go. Kobbie Mainoo, attitude has been exemplary, right? Hasn't played much football this season because of because of injuries, and because the team has been in dire straits. But do you know what he's done? He's kept his head down. He's just kept at it. He will be worked on. I think that Amorim likes him. My worry with him is where you play him. Do you play him in the 10 or is he going to be an 8? Because he can't be a 6. Sophie, I'll come to that comment. You've said exactly what I've just said there. So we have to focus on what Mainoo will be for Manchester United. He's bulking out. He has bulked out in the last 18 months. The kid has bulked out. He could be so special. Again, a player that gets it, a Manchester boy. We'll just wait and see. Bill says, I think you might have similar issues that we had, which is people either A, don't want to buy the players you want to sell, or B, will offer you way below because of the position United are in. Yeah, but Bill, I'm happy for the players to go at cut price. I'm absolutely happy. If it comes to Rashford going for 30 million, absolutely fine. Yeah, I know we want 40, fine. I would sell Jadon Sancho for 15 quid. I'd swap him for a pack of Monster Munch. I would swap him for a Curly Whirly. If it meant get that guy getting off my club, getting out of my club, getting off the whole merry-go-round of just thinking he is so much better than he is, I would actually do it. Manchester United have to do that. We have to absolutely just get rid of these players at all costs. Lucas says, what positions are not a priority for Man United right now? Well, I think defence. And you may laugh at me for saying that. But I think Manchester United are not looking at the defence as a priority to impact. And I actually don't think the defence was the biggest problem at Manchester United last season. I think it was the goalkeeper, and I think it was our inability to score goals. If we'd had a striker up top last season that could put balls in the back of the net, you are putting teams on the back foot by attack, which means the goalkeeper isn't having to do as much. The fact that we didn't have a player up there that could keep that ball up, that could do something, bring other players into it, meant that the ball was going up there and it was just being recycled straight back, and it was an attack. It was absolutely impossible to be a Manchester United fan last season. So I'd say the defence, I think centre-backs were sorted, and I think the wing-backs were sorted. Yes, as Bill says, make sure you hit the like button if you haven't, peeps. This has been a really, really good first show, guys. Really, really good. We've got 10 minutes left yet. You got another 10 minutes of me. What else have we got? Big Taz says, those so-called fan cams are not real United fans and are just after their own clout. Exactly that. I hear so much. There's one on YouTube that I will watch avidly, and I think he is absolutely incredible. And that is Sam from United People's TV. I think the way he speaks about the club, the way he has his opinions are absolutely impeccable. He will see things from two sides, and he will then explain it to the chat, and he will take it from them. I don't want to see a guy who goes out on the chat and absolutely berates someone for having an opinion. Absolutely not. Big Taz again. Yeah, paying on Ronaldo. Exactly that. Lucas says, I haven't heard much about that. Didn't know he has an attitude problems behind the scenes. Oh, mate, Garnacho's got history. I remember him liking a Mark Goldbridge tweet berating the fact that he hadn't been picked whilst Ten Hag was there. He had to get pulled out. He's bad apple. Mainly, this is the thing, Sophie. So this is where we see if this man Amorim can do what we hope he can do. If he can turn this player into something that can fit in this system, I think Mainoo would be an absolute gem for him. No, definitely not. Not Mainoo. Mainoo's been class. GNX says, thoughts on Man City's 3 new signings? Yeah, it's Man City, isn't it? I mean, Ike Nori, I'd have taken him. Shirky hates us, so that's going to be incredible. I can't wait to play Shirky. I can't lie. I can't wait to play Shirky in this season. He is going to be well up for it. He is going to play pantomime villain as much as he can. But yeah, City have signed good players, which they always do, don't they? Curly. I wasn't a fan of Curly Whirlies. I wasn't a fan. Bring LB next team. We need Man Talk Weekly, Dan. Yes, well, he keeps saying to me that we need to revisit the Friday nights we were doing. Has anyone seen LB's haircut, by the way? He looks badass. Lucas, take him. The problem is Sullivan, you'll know more than anybody, will not pay the wages that he's asking for. Absolutely not. Ruben Amorim would be great for him. He could probably play that left-sided 10 role. He's got the ability to receive the ball with his back to goal, turn and get up the pitch. Yeah, well, look, we saw Mainu play in that position. Now, the one thing you do see, right? The one thing I'll say about Mainu, you do see, and the way that we're looking at the players we're bringing in, is straight away if Mainu is going to be used as a 10 predominantly, if he's going to be switched, well, then look at what that does for rotation in the squad. Whereas last season we had Ericsson we'd have to chuck up there. You know, Bruno, when Bruno wasn't playing there, we had to just push people. Mount we had to put there. What you see now is you see if we get Brian, which I think Brian's happening by the way, you've got Brian and you've got Cunha, right? If one of them can't play, you push Bruno in there or you push Mainu in there. And then you've also got Mount, who I don't think is long for this club either, by the way. It straight away changes the dynamics of the way we play. Also Diallo. And if you've watched me on Redmen TV, my brother, my main man Errol, has invited me on there a few times. There's a guy called Tez on there, United fan, and he said such a great point, you know. Manchester United for so long have had Bruno to rely on to be the man who creates. I wonder if we'll see a better Bruno than we already have if he has players around him that then take on the mantle of wanting to be the people to push that team up the table, to push that team to create more things. Do you know what I'm saying? I think he makes a great point there. And I think with Cunha, with Brian, with Diallo fit this season, and of course when we've got Bruno playing, I feel like it opens us up so much more. Let's have a look what else we've got here. Sophie says, Man United's defence is fine next season. It's goalkeeper, midfield and front line. Yeah, Sophie, completely agree. And Sophie, by the way, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much. We are on the road to 1,000. Look, this has been starting for about 27 years, it feels like. We finally got over the line, finally got started. And I have to say a big shout out to Dan Potts, Lawless, the Loaded Mag Boys, have to say Loaded Mag Boys, Lawless, Wolfie, all of the guys from Football's 12th Man have absolutely pushed me and backed me to do this season. Without their support, I wouldn't be doing this. And I'm really excited to build this community with you all. As I say on TikTok, we may not always agree on what we talk about here, but the thing that I want to bring to this channel is simple. Respect. We're going to respectfully talk about these things. We may not agree, but we're going to have a good chat about it. So always remember that. Always remember that. Let's have a look what else we've got. Bowlby, correct. Moxie Shun says, I do think Amorim sees something in... here we go. There we go. Let me have a look. In Mainu, that he can work with, and a full pre-season working with him on his system, how he wants to play could really pay off. This is the thing, though, isn't it? This is the thing, Moxie. We're going to have a pre-season. I know it's easy to tell, but he's had 6 months there. He's going to have a pre-season to really focus on these players and push them into a formation that he believes that we should be playing. We're going to be getting rid of players that have been in that formation that should no longer be near this club. It's going to be a whole new Manchester United next season. It's going to be a whole new Manchester United. GNX says, Dan, I'm really impressed with Reinders. Yeah, honestly, what a baller you have signed there for the price you got him for as well. And how old is he, GNX? He's still quite young. He's still relatively young, isn't he? I don't think he's that old. Is he 24? I'm not sure. Yeah, thank you so much, Valsey. Like and subscribe. Busy weeks ahead, loads to talk about. Hopefully new signings. Let's get Brian over the line and changes will come. Love that. Absolutely love that. I am going to star that message because I think that's a great message. And yeah, you're completely right, Rodri. And yeah, 100%. 100%. Who are you most excited to watch next season? Cunha, unreal for me. Yeah, I feel like Cunha is the guy. I need another sip, guys. I am sweltering. Honestly, I don't need to go on a diet. I feel like I'm in a fucking sauna. I needed that. Yeah, Cunha next season. Cunha has the ability to do for us what Eric Cantona did for us, which is a player that comes in who absolutely 100% backs himself ability-wise, gets people's asses off seats, gets the crowd going. Now, Wolves fans will have you believe that this guy's shite. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. I think that's sour milk. GNX says, I'm really worried about Liverpool. Well, look, I'm not even worried about them anymore. I'm already at peace with the fact that they're going to get title number 21 next season. Are they? I didn't even see. Oh, have they? Hang on a minute. Let me have a look. England pen as well. Okay, keep an eye on that for me, Sophie. Hopefully we sign a right back next month, and at least City will win either the Premier League or the UCL. GNX, you've got, look, Livramento. Sophie will disagree with this because she's a Newcastle fan, but Livramento, if I was you, I'd be paying. LB is absolutely gassed about this guy, and I think you should be going all out to get that guy. All out. Semi-final for the under-21s. Wow, that's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Spain under-21s as well, guys. Spain under-21s. Sophie says not happening at all. Newcastle, I will say this. Newcastle are in a great position. They don't need to sell. They absolutely don't need to sell. And there is no chance in hell that they're going to... You are going to have to pay serious bucks for Livramento, by the way. Guys, we've got 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left. So 5 minutes left of you guys asking a question. Ask the question, and then we will then we'll close it, because honestly, this isn't working for me, guys. Honestly, look at the state of me. People are going to think I'm getting emotional on the first stream, for fuck's sake. Yes, it's me, Everest. Big up to you too, my friend. Big up to you, my friend. July the 1st, nearly 80 million drops off our PSR. Yeah, Newcastle, honestly, by the way, look at the state of that. Newcastle are going to go insane once July the 1st comes. They are going to go insane. They are going to be going out there and signing some serious talent. Again, which is why I think we need to get Brian over the line. Livramento is quality Y. Is Thomas Tuchel playing? Oh, sorry. Why is Thomas Tuchel playing? Yeah. Do you know something? Thomas Tuchel, for me... Thomas Tuchel has not impressed me as England manager. Not impressed me one bit. I think he's got his selections wrong. I feel like the football we're looking at is absolutely abysmal. I'm not convinced. Feisty into the under-21 match. Big Taz, it is. It absolutely is criminal. It absolutely is. I am sweltering here. Honestly, this stream might end up being 24 hours. I might end up collapsing with this heat. It's me, Everest. Yeah, having a great time, mate. We've had some fantastic people in the chat. We've had a lot of questions. It's been really, really good. Really, really good. Here is the plan, guys. To end on this, here is the plan on what will be happening now, because the TikTok family are in the house. Absolutely massive respect for the TikTok family. The Brian Brigade, I'm going to call you. Brian Brigade. I am going to be doing live streams on YouTube sporadically throughout the week, but I will be going on TikTok as well at 9 o'clock every night. If I'm not on TikTok, I will be on here. But keep an eye on your socials for that, because I genuinely can't wait to see what we do this season. We just need some fucking transfers to get the excitement going, because look at this, right? Look at this. Ready? You got that. All those pages, not one fucking transfer's come in yet. I sit there, right, and I go, what are we going to talk about tonight? What are we going to talk about tonight? You know, and then I have to do my homework. Then I have to really look back and see about other things that aren't at the forefront of Manchester United's not at the chat. We need transfers. We need transfers, and we need the friendlies to start so we can really start talking about football. Sophie, have you got a thunderstorm? Oh my God! Honestly, where is that? Where was that? Where was that? There. Where was that? I need that thunderstorm right here, because there's no heat coming through, man. There's no cool coming through. I'm gonna have to jump in the fucking shower, you know. GNX says, "Oh, I'm not saying that. Why don't you stream on both at the same time?" Now, I'm going to say something here, Sophie B, and it's me, Everest. I tried to do that tonight, and I couldn't find the stream key for TikTok to put into StreamYard to do that. So I got quite annoyed, because there's a few people that watch me on TikTok that I tried to do the both. If any of you know anything about that, you both, I think, follow me on Twitter. Send me a DM. That would be very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. Where else have we got here? Yeah, look, we all know. Look, I think we'll come to an end there, guys. We've been an hour. We know that Tuchel is absolutely abysmal, but hey, couple of thank yous. First one, Sophie, thank you for coming and plugging as always. You're an absolute superstar, and I honestly, massive respect. To the Brian Brigade, the TikTok faithful, absolute love to each and every one of you. I will be back on TikTok probably tomorrow. To everybody else who's been in the show, who's come in, appreciate that we have not had transfers to really talk about, and all we've spoken about here about what we can do as Manchester United, what the plans are. I absolutely feel like there is news coming for Manchester United. We just have to wait at the moment, but we will get there, and we will get there together. Sam, thank you so much, mate. I really, really appreciate that. It has been hard, I can tell you that. The good thing is, I think I've lost about £4 just doing this stream. So, yeah, phenomenal. Thank you, Sam. Absolutely appreciate that, mate. And Sophie again. Yeah, let's get to the 1K club. That's the first thing. The first target is the 1K club. Bill Ashby says, big up, Dan. Love your first stream. See you at Loaded or back here. Thank you, Bill. Really appreciate it. The Brian Brigade strong. Remember that hashtag. Guys, absolute love to each and every one of you. I appreciate that too, Sophie. Other than that, I will see you on TikTok live at 9 o'clock tomorrow. If I can work out how to do it on both, I will be back on here tomorrow at 9. Let's see if we can find that. Other than that, guys, stay safe out there. Stay fucking hydrated. In fact, needed that. Stay hydrated, stay safe, go and get a fucking shower. That's what I'm going to do now. And I will see you on the flip side. Dan United.